Very warm welcome to this series of lectures on elements of mechanical engineering. My name is D.A. Ramacharyulu and I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. We are in the second module of this course, Elements of Mechanical Engineering, where we are studying the working of boilers. In the previous lectures, we have seen the introduction and classification of boilers. A boiler is a device which is used to produce steam. And also we have seen what are the working of different types of boilers. Now in this lecture, we are going to see what are the different boiler mountings used when a boiler is under process. Like under working condition, what are the different parts attached for the better working of the boiler. Now these attachments are called as accessories and mountings. Now in this lecture, we are going to see about mountings. In the coming lectures, we are going to see what are the boiler accessories. So what is a boiler mounting? A boiler mounting is a device installed or mounted for the safety of boiler and it is controlled and it is called as a boiler mounting. So boiler mountings are the devices which are attached to the boiler for the better functioning or to improve the efficiency of the boiler. So these mounting devices, whatever the devices we have mounted on the surface of the boiler, so these devices are responsible for the correct functioning of the boiler. Now let us see what are the different types of boiler mountings available and what are the function of each of them. Now the first one is water level indicator. Water level indicator is the device which will indicate the level of water inside the boiler. We know boiler is a big structure. It is very tall with a height of about 100 meters. So the boiler contains water inside a closed tank. We don't know how much water is present inside because there is no opening for the human being from outside to see the level of water. So we should have a control device or we should have a indicator which indicates the level of water. Now this water level indicators indicates the level inside the water tank. And pressure gauge. We know we are producing steam here. The steam is a form of gas. This gas will have some pressure. So the steam, when it is collected in a closed container, its pressure will increase because the steam is very hot and pressure will increase. So we have to monitor the pressure continuously so that the tank of the pressure, the tank of the steam will not blow up. Okay. So we have pressure gauges and then we have safety valves. So safety valves are the devices which are attached to the steam tank. When the pressure is very high, the safety valves will open and it will release some steam into the atmosphere so that the entire steam tank won't explode. And then junction valve. So the junction valve is the valve which is a device connected to the boiler which will make the boiler or the steam coming out of the boiler to go in a particular way. So if you want to make the steam come out of the boiler, we have to operate this junction valve. And then feed check valve. Feed check valve is nothing but it is a valve which is used to manage the water going into the boiler. So water has to be supplied into the boiler in order to prepare steam. So we should know how much water should be sent into the boiler. So there should be a valve to control the flow of water into the boiler. So that is feed check valve. And then blow off cock. So this is a valve which is used to control the amount of coal being sent into the boiler surface, boiler furnace. So we know in boiler we have a furnace which will produce hot gases by combustion of the coal. Now this combustion will be done in the presence of air and also we have to supply large amount of coal. So the amount of coal should be checked by this blow off cock. And then fusible plug. Fusible plug is a device which is attached to the boiler which will be connected as a security measure. Like if the pressure inside the tank is very high, this fusible plug we can open the fusible plug and we can remove the pressure. And then manhole. Manhole is a device which is for cleaning purpose. A operator can go into the boiler and he can clean the inner surface of the water tank as well as the furnace. Okay, so manholes are there. Anti-priming pipes. So anti-priming pipe is a device which is attached to the boiler to make the water go into the tank easily. Now we'll see the working of all these mountings in detail. Now we'll go to the next slide. So this is the first mounting. So this is water level indicator. So how the water level indicator works and how it is useful in the operation of the boiler. Now we can see in this picture, this is a closed shell. So this is the container inside which we have water. So we have this blue color indicating the water level inside the boiler. Now we have an attachment here. See this. This entire attachment is called a water level indicator. Now let us understand the working of this water level indicator. Now see here, there are two pipes attached to the water level indicator into the boiler, pipe 1 and pipe 2. So these two pipes are attached into the boiler tank, into the surface or into the water, where the water can flow through this pipe and it can come into this indicator in this direction. It can flow up. Okay. Now we have a lever here, or this is a water cock which can be operated. That means it can be in a position on or off position, so that the water from the tank will flow into the water level indicator. So here we have a glass tube which is attached to the pipe. Okay. Now what is the function of this glass tube is it will show how much level the water is present inside the tank. Okay. So we have to keep these two cocks in open condition so that the water will go into this, and inside the glass tube the water level will rise up. Okay. Now when the water level is decreasing inside the tank, the level inside this glass tube also decreases. So it will directly indicates the level of the water inside the tank. Okay. Now the main thing is we should have two valves or two cocks. So inside this top cock we will have steam. So we'll try to understand the basic working of this boiler. We will remember how a boiler will work. So see here, when the water is boiling here, it will produce some steam. Now this is steam. So we have a pipe that is attached directly into the steam. Okay. This is steam. So steam will be entering into this pipe, and water will be entering through this lower pipe. So we can directly estimate how much amount of water is present inside, or how much amount of steam is present inside this attachment, the glass tube. Okay. So up to this level, the blue color indicating the water level, up to here water is there, remaining all steam is there. So from this we can directly understand how much amount of steam present inside the tank also. Not only the water level, it will also indicates the steam level. Whenever the steam level increases, that means this white color part goes to the bottom side, we can understand that the water is completely converted into steam. Okay. Now this is the working of this water level indicator. So here we have a drain cock which is used to remove the water from this water level only. We cannot remove water from the boiler tank. Okay. So this drain cock is only for this water level indicator. Okay. So this is the function of water level indicator, which will indicate the level of water inside the boiler tank. Now the next thing is pressure gauge. So in the picture we can see this is a Bourdon type pressure gauge. Bourdon, B-O-U-R-D-O-N, Bourdon type pressure gauge, which is used to measure the pressure of the steam present inside the tank. Now, if we have a boiler like this, on the top of the boiler, we will attach this pressure gauge like this. Okay. So this is a pressure gauge attached to the surface of the boiler, where it will directly be connected to the steam inside the boiler tank. Okay, here steam will be there, and on this we will connect the pressure gauge. Now, how this pressure gauge will work? So the pressure inside the tank will go into this bottom tube pressure gauge, and this is the opening. So in this pipe the steam will go, and from here it will go on pushing the this is a what this is called, this is a Borden tube. So this is a Borden tube which is placed inside the pressure gauge. So this Borden tube is made up of rubber. So what happens is, this rubber tube, whenever the pressure of the steam that is entering into the tube increases, it will go on expanding. It will expand in this direction. Okay, it will expand in this direction, and at the end of this Borden tube we have a lever. Okay, this lever is attached to the handle, the needle of the pressure gauge. So whenever the pressure increases, the rubber tube will expand and it will push this the lever, and it will make the needle rotating. Okay, now see here, when the pressure increases, this tube will go on expanding in this direction. This will push the lever in bottom direction, and this will, which is connected to a horizontal rack and pinion arrangement, this will make the pinion move in up direction. Now what happens is, when it moves in the up direction, the rotating device, this part will rotate and it will, so this is the indicator which will show the pressure inside the steam tank. Okay, now we have understood how the pressure gauge works. So it will contain a expandable type rubber tube which is directly connected to the steam inside the water tank, and when the steam pressure increases, this tube expands, which will be indicated on the dial gauge, okay, with the help of this needle. So this is the needle which we are talking about. This will rotate. Okay, so this needle is connected like this. So it will have some dimensional divisions on the surface of the pressure gauge, and it will indicate the pressure of the steam inside the boiler. Okay, so this is the working of pressure gauge. Now we'll go to the next device. So this is safety valve. So safety valve is nothing but a simple device which is very similar to the pressure cooker safety valve which we use in our homes. Pressure cooker. So in our homes we will use a cooker which will have, so if this is a cooker, we will have an arrangement. We will have a opening on which we will put some weight. So this is called a weight, and this will release the excess pressure present inside the pressure cooker. Now, very similar to that procedure, this safety valve will work. In fact, this safety weight, this is what we call as weight, is known as the safety valve for the cooker. Okay. Now in this condition, we have steam inside a closed boiler. Now what happens is, the boiler will produce some steam. When the steam pressure is very high, that means it is more than the standard value, that is which the boiler surface has been created or the boiler is designed. So if the pressure is more than the designed pressure, what happens? The boiler shell will break. That means the boiler surface will break and it will explode. So in order to protect the boiler from explosion, we have kept a device called a safety valve. Now there are two types of safety valves we can see in this slide. So on the left we can see lever safety valve, which uses a lever, and another one is dead safety valve. So dead safety valve is the one which we use in our household pressure cooker. Now let us see what is the working of this safety valve. Now we'll see lever safety valve, how this lever safety valve will work. So this is an arrangement, or it is a mounting which is kept on the surface of the boiler where the steam is produced. Now in this picture we can see here the steam is connected to this dead lever, lever safety valve. Okay. Now the steam will be flowing in this direction. Now when the steam enters here, it will push up the lever. Okay, it will try to push up the lever. Pressure is applied in this direction. Okay, this entire arrangement will try to move up. Okay, but to counterbalance this pressure, we have kept a lever. This is the lever which we have named it after. So this lever is attached with a dead weight. We can see a dead weight is attached on the end of the lever. Okay, now what happens is when the pressure inside the steam tank is below the weight of the weight that is attached to the lever will not move upside. Okay, now simply this will try to push upwards. So this is always trying to push up. Okay, now if the weight of this dead weight is more than the pressure, so it will not lift up. Okay, whenever the pressure inside the tank increases, and it will goes on increasing, that so that it will push the lever upwards. That means the weight of this dead weight is now less than the pressure that is created inside the steam boiler. Okay, now what happens is this entire thing will move up. Okay, the lever will be moved up and the steam will come out in this direction. Now steam will be escaped to the atmosphere from this opening. Whenever the steam pressure is just reducing, that means when the pressure is increased, it will push up the lever and some steam will come out. Whenever the steam quantity is low enough to bear this weight, it will stop again. Okay, because we have connected a dead weight, it will pull down the arrangement automatically. Okay, when the steam pressure reduces. So this is an automatic arrangement. No need to operate this one. And similarly, on the right side, we have a dead weight safety valve. In this dead weight safety valve, this is very similar to the pressure cooker which we use in our house. So in this we have a dead weight. This entire thing is the dead weights that is fixed on the tube that is attached to the surface of the boiler. Now what happens is when the pressure inside the boiler is more than the standard or designed value, this will move up. This entire thing will move up and the pressure will be released from here. The steam will comes out from here, and from here the steam will comes out. Okay, so this is the way the pressure cooker in our household application also works in the same manner. Okay, the steam will escape from the bottom of the weight. It will not go through the weight. Okay, it will go up and it will go in this direction. Now I will draw this again. Whenever the pressure is very high, the steam comes out from here. It will go into this chamber, and from here it will come out in this direction. Okay, it will go from the bottom of the weight that is fixed on the pipe. It will not go through the dead weight. Okay, so the dead weight is a device which is used to protect the tank, the steam tank, from explosion. Okay, so there are two types: lever safety and dead weight. Okay, so these two are the safety valves. And then we'll see another two types of safety valves are there. So this is a spring-loaded safety valve. So instead of weight, we have kept a spring which is attached to the arrangement. Now in this picture we can see steam is coming in this direction and it is divided into two parts here. Now here we have fixed arrangement. Now the steam will hit this part. It will push up. Now when the tension in the spring is more enough, the lever will not go up. So this is the lever, it will not go up. Okay, if the tension is less than the pressure of the steam, the lever will be lifted up and the steam will escape from these two arrangements, from here and here. From these two openings, steam will come out. And another type of safety valve is here, high steam and low water safety valve. Okay, so this also works in the same kind, but this works depending on the level of water inside the tank. Okay, now see here, this is a very complex arrangement. We have a water tank. Inside the water tank we have water, and also because of the water is boiling, the formation of steam is also seen. Now what happens is the steam will try to escape through this opening. Now what happens? We have a balance weight and we have a float. Whenever the level of water decreases, this will directly indicates that steam is increasing. Okay, if the water in the tank decreases, steam will increase. Because we cannot remove the water, we have to convert the water into steam. Okay, so due to the formation of steam, the water level inside the tank will decrease. This will make the float move in the bottom direction, so that this bottom direction will operate the lever in such a way so that it will open the lever. That means it will open this valve to make the steam escape through this opening. Why? Why we have to open the safety valve when the water level decreased? Because whenever the water level decreases, it is directly indicating that the steam is more when compared to water. So whatever the water is there, it is completely converted into steam. So that is why it is directly indicating that when there is more steam, the pressure inside the tank will be more. So we have to remove the excess steam by opening this lever. Okay. So this is the high steam and low water safety valve. And now we have a junction valve. So the junction valve placed directly on the boiler in order to regulate the steam supply from boiler to steam pipe and is called junction valve. So the junction valve is the device which is used to manage the flow of steam from the steam boiler. So we know inside the steam boiler we will produce steam continuously. So the steam has to be sent to any place where it is applied, where it is used. So we should have a valve which can be operated so that the steam can come out of the boiler. Now see here, this is where the steam boiler is connected. From here we will have the water coming out of the steam coming out of the boiler. And from here, when we operate this lever, so this is a circular wheel which is attached here. So when we operate this wheel, it will move up the opening. This lever will be moved up by rotating clockwise or anti-clockwise. So this valve can be opened and the steam can be accessed and it can come out and it can flow in this direction. Okay. So at this point we have to connect a pipe through which we can send the steam to a particular place. Okay. So junction valve is nothing but it is a valve that is used to remove the steam from the boiler when it is needed. Now another boiler mounting is feed check valve. So we have seen that we have to make the flow of water into the boiler when the level inside the tank is very less. Okay. We have to supply water into the boiler for the generation of steam, for which we will connect the water supply pipe to the boiler, and this between the water pipe and the boiler we have a separate arrangement which will control the flow of water into the boiler. Okay, so see here, feed check valve works as NRV, which stands for non-return valve. It prevents backflow of water from the boiler when the feed pump is either not working or in case of its failure. Okay, now see here, this is an entire structure. This is the structure or the arrangement of the feed check valve. Now what happens is, water from here, this is where we will connect the external water supply. Water supply. This is where the water is connected to the boiler. So on this side we have boiler. This is boiler. And this is water supply. So we will operate this lever by rotating it in anti-clockwise so that the water from the water supply will enter into the boiler. Okay, so this is very simple, but one best advantage of using this feed check valve is it is a non-return valve, which means whenever there is a failure of any of these parts inside the boiler. So this feed check valve will be closed so that it will not allow the water to backflow from the boiler into the outside pipe. Okay, it has only one opening which will allow the water to flow in forward direction only, that is from water supply to the boiler. So water cannot be taken out using this feed check valve because it is a non-return valve. It will have a special type of arrangement which is made up of rubber. This rubber valve will not allow the water to flow out of the boiler. Okay, it can make the water to go into the boiler, but it cannot allow the water come out of the boiler. Okay, so this is the best advantage of using this feed check valve. And then we have a blow off cock. Now this blow off cock, we have different parts here. This is a set screw, valve body, asbestos packing, shank, guard, valve yoke, gland, casing. So what is the function of this blow off cock? So this is used to remove the excess carbon that is present inside the boiler. Okay, so blow off cock is nothing but it can remove. So when we operate this, okay, when we operate this, we can remove the excess carbon that is present inside the furnace. So we have furnace here. Inside the furnace, we will make the coal combustion. Due to the combustion, lot of gases will be formed. Sometimes these gases are usually sent to the chimney, but sometimes what happens is when the chimney is completely closed with the carbon particles, we should have a safety arrangement for removing the extra carbon that is present inside the furnace. So here in boiler we have two parts. One is furnace, one is the steam tank. Steam, this is where water is taken, it is boiled, and the boiled water will produce steam. And at the bottom we have coal. This coal will be combusted and heat will be produced. Now, using these two, we have to, sometimes the furnace will have more hot gases which will make the pressure inside the furnace will make the explosion of the furnace. So that is when this blow off cock is opened and the excess gases will be removed. Okay, so this is another kind of mounting, blow off cock. And we have fusible plug. So see here, this has different parts like fusible metal is there, plug is there. Okay, crown plate, hexagonal flange, gun metal body, hexagonal flange. So these are, so this device, the fusible plug is attached for extra safety. Extra safety means it can, whenever we have, suppose we have a boiler tank inside which we produce steam. When the pressure of the steam is very high, the tank will explode. For this, we have attached a arrangement called safety valve, like pressure cookers, deadweight or lever support. Okay, so this is safety valve. Even though sometimes the safety valve may not work properly, then this fusible plug will work. Okay. So this is for extra safety only. So the fusible plug also works in the similar manner as the boiler. So what happens is, what is the difference between a safety valve and a fusible plug? Safety valve and fusible plug. So the key difference is, when we observe carefully, the cooker, the pressure cooker which we use in household application will have two valves. One is the weight which we keep, it will continuously releases the pressure. Okay, it will give some whistles. Okay, so this is the safety valve which is continuously operated while cooking. Now on the surface of the cap of the pressure cooker we have another valve. Okay, this is for extra safety. So what happens is, when this safety valve does not work, or if any food particle blocks the safety valve, the pressure cannot be released through the safety valve, that is through the whistle. Okay, now what happens is, then this fusible plug, it will blow off. That means It is made up of a thin layer of gunmetal or aluminium. Okay, this metal will blow off. That means it will be burnt out. Okay, due to the pressure inside the pressure cooker, it will be burnt out, and the steam will be released into the atmosphere. Now, what is the main function of this fusible plug is, it is for extra safety when the safety valve is not working properly. Okay, so the fusible plug can be, whenever there is a blockage inside the safety valve, we can replace, or it will be automatically cleans up. Whenever the fusible plug is burned out, we have to replace it with new fusible plug. Okay, safety valve is not like that. Safety valve is designed to remove the pressure from the pressure cooker or a boiler, whereas the fusible plug is for extra safety and it has to be replaced once it is blown off. Okay, so this is the difference between a fusible plug and safety valve. And we have manhole. Manhole is nothing but an opening which is attached to the boiler tank. Okay, boiler where water is present, and another manhole that is at bottom, that is at furnace. Okay, so in water tank and furnace we have two manholes. Both manholes are used for maintenance purpose. An operator can go inside and he can clean the surface of the boiler. Okay, for this purpose we have manholes. So this is provided at suitable position on the boiler shell, so that the man can enter into the boiler shell for inspection, maintenance and repairs. This hole is usually made in elliptical shape of the size convenient for a man to enter through this hole. The opening is closed by a steam tight cover also. Okay, the manhole is present everywhere in any kind of boiler. It has to be closed and it has to be sealed with the help of a steam lining, that is with the help of a rubber steam lining that is present inside the on the surface of the boiler. Okay, this cover should be sealed, otherwise steam will be escaped through this opening. And then we have steam trap. So what is steam trap? Steam trap is used to collect and automatically drain away the water resulted from partial condensation of steam without steam to escape with this condensation through a valve. So steam trap is a device which is attached to the boiler. It will collect the extra, it will automatically drain the water that is resulted due to the condensation. So whenever we are producing steam from water, so the steam will be generated. The steam can be used for any applications by removing the steam. So sometimes what happens is, when the steam is condensed, what happens? It will be converted into water. Now this extra water should be drained by using this steam tap, which is connected to the surface of the boiler. Okay, the valve after draining the condensate is closed. If presses the leakage of steam from the trap. Okay, whenever there is extra water that is present in the boiler tank, which is known as the condensate, it has to be removed by using this steam trap. So we have anti-priming pipe also. So what is an anti-priming pipe? It is also one of the boiler mountings where it is attached to the boiler surface for a particular purpose. So it is attached below the stop valve to avoid the water particles being carried away along with the steam. So anti-priming pipe is a device which will avoid the water particles being carried away along with steam. Okay, because we have a tank inside which water is there. Now when this water is boiled, it will produce steam. This is water and this is steam. Now what happens is, when the steam is taken out of the tank with the help of a valve, now what happens? The steam will carry out some of the water particles or moisture out of the tank, which is not required, because we want to produce a clear steam or a superheated steam which does not contain any moisture. Okay, now in order to make the steam very pure without any water particles, we have to use this anti-priming pipe. It has closed pipe with closed ends of 1 meter and 2 meter lengths. The top side of the pipe has perforations. When the steam passes through it, due to inertia effect, the moisture of steam falls into the pipe and the steam with reduced moisture passes into the stop valve. So, this anti-priming pipe will have, so it is a circular pipe inside which we have perforations. So, it will have perforations, very small holes. Now, these perforations, what is the function of these perforations is, they will make only the fresh steam pass through them. This is like a filter. It will filter the water particles from the steam. Okay. Now this anti-priming pipe, when it is connected to the steam removing pipe, that is steam supply pipe from the boiler, so it will filter all the water particles from the the steam, and the water particles will be sent back into the water boiler again, and the fresh steam which does not have any water particles will be sent to the application. Okay, so this is the function of anti-priming pipe, where the steam is made more dry. So this is all about the boiler mountings. We have seen different mountings like water level indicator, water level, which will indicate the water level inside the boiler, and then we have pressure gauge, which will indicate the pressure of the steam that is generated inside the boiler, and then we have other devices like feed check valve, with which we can control the flow of water into the tank, and we have junction valve. Junction valve is used to manage the steam that is coming out of the boiler, and then we have fusible plug, which is used for safety purpose, and we have safety valve. Just like a cooker valve, we have safety valve, and fusible plug is for extra safety. And then we have manhole for inspection and maintenance purpose. And then we have anti-priming pipe, for removing the moisture from the steam. Okay, these are some of the boiler mountings that are studied when we study the basic working of any boiler. We'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.